The forest den is very, very small and simple, but of course it is, considering it's the first den. I like how cozy it feels. It's your own little hut in the middle of the forest. It's not horrible for a starting den, but it could definitely be larger and more detailed. Like, maybe there could be a yard so you could actually go into the forest. Why is the den called forest if all you can go into is a little house and not actually the forest? I'm pretty sure this den was inspired by the old WildCraft den as a tactic to calm upset fans down. It's similar in the sense that it's a den in the forest with boundaries made of rocks, just like the old one was. However, it's much smaller than the old one and has no water. The best thing about the old den was being able to swim in the ocean. They should have just used the old den model instead of coming up with a new, less interesting one. I like the natural theme of the wild den though, and it's good for a starting den. This den is so incredibly boring and has nothing unique or interesting about it. It's just a tiny hut with trees on the outside, almost exactly like the forest den, but savanna version. This den is probably disappointing for those who love the savanna, and I nearly never see this den used. It would be better if it were bigger and had more cool features and places to explore. The improved version of the Savannah Den. It's a giant cave in the savannah with a cool design and a large area to run around. This cave would be such a nice home in real life, and I like the little spaces at the sides of it where you can hide. I know this is said with everything in WildCraft, but I wish you could climb on the cave. There's spots where it feels like you should be able to climb, but can't. I can't count that as a flaw though, because you can climb hardly anything in this game. I'm not a big savannah person, but this den is well made. There's lots of nooks and crannies in the castle den to explore and chill at. The design is really cool, and I love castles. The moat is nice, though I wish I could jump in it. This is one of the first dens I ever purchased. I didn't use it long, but it brings back memories anyway. It's a cool place to hang out with friends and sit by the edge of the castle. I do wish the actual inside castle, where you place furniture, were a lot bigger though. Most of the den is outside. Pretty cool. A decent amount of room to run around and swim. Very pretty and good for hanging out and chatting. I really want to swim underneath the bottom of the dock though, so it's dumb that there's invisible barriers, which there's a lot of in WildCraft. And that island, that darn island tempting me. Why is it there if you can't swim to it? I'm quite biased on this just because the treehouse brings me a lot of warm memories and nostalgia. This was my den most of the time at the beginning of my channel. I remember decorating it and having fun in it with my friends. It's a pretty spacious den too, with lots of large rooms and a cool view. I just wish they would have kept the glitch for this den, where you could jump out and fall into the void. It brought a lot of fun while it lasted. I never used this den, probably because I saw how small it is, and for that many gems, no thank you. It looks much bigger in the picture than it actually is. It looks like it should be spacious and have multiple levels, but in reality you can't even climb the stairs onto the top floor. Well, of course you can't. It's WildCraft after all. Climbing anything? Are you out of your mind? It's nothing really exciting, but it's fine for a Christmas special, and it's fairly detailed with nice decorations. It's not too small for a cabin, the snow outside is cool, and it's overall an appropriate place to chill. Beautiful. This den is absolutely beautiful and has a lot of room to run around. The river and waterfall against the greenery. Chef's kiss. Perfect for hanging out with friends and recording for intros, backgrounds, skits, etc. But like any den, it has its flaws. It would be nice if you could put decorations anywhere, not just in the cave thingy, but I guess that doesn't count since basically all dens are like that. What annoys me so much though is that you can't jump off of the hills. Invisible barriers, oh, invisible barriers. I really don't see why TRG had to add them to the hill cliffs. I love the ocean, it's so pretty. The sound of this den is also very relaxing, and the fish are cool, but I wish they would move more realistically, and some of them don't even move at all, like the sharks. The fish don't feel real. The den is also a little small too. Other than that, it's great and really unique. At the time, this was kind of like a compromise to all the fans asking for an underwater world. Well, now we have an actual underwater world, but you get the idea. Amazing! I love the coverage of the stone shelter cave thingy. The river's pretty, I love jungles, it's a really big den. It has flaws, yes, but not as many as some other dens. It's well made and gives off a jungly vibe. Maybe more trees though, and taller trees. Jungles have super tall trees, TRG, not these stubby ones. I'm all for the spooky Halloween theme of this den. The big blood moon, the spooky music, the jack-o'-lanterns, and everything else is so cool. Better than the Christmas den, that's for sure. But oh, how I wish you could get on the second floor of the haunted house. And oh, how I wish you could swim in the lovely river. This den is very interesting and full of surprises. The drawings on the cave are cute, but copy and pasted, and the ice statues on the outside are neat. They kind of remind me of the old WildCraft den, except those were wooden statues. This den looks cool, it just doesn't have the best rating because, I don't know, I just don't like it a lot personally. It's okay, but the ice theme is not my thing, and it's not super spacious either. Very pretty and a decent amount of space, a beautiful river, blossom trees, and patches of flowers. Another good den for filming and relaxing. How about some calming Japanese nature tunes instead of just the generic WildCraft soundtrack to top everything off? And more sunshine, definitely more sunshine. Wonderful scenery and forestry. The view of the other floating mountains in the distance is so cool, and the idea of this den is so unique and interesting, being in trees high in the sky. 3 separate islands to run around on. How cool, but it's annoying that I can only place decor on one of them. The other 2 just have to stay empty and boring. I'm not exactly a pyramid lover, and I wouldn't choose this den, but I have to admit, it's a really good design and very spacious. Lots of room to run around and things to look at, including the beloved Anubis. I also really like the sunlight peeking through the windows in the pyramid, as some of the previous dens have been dark and dull with no sunlight to be seen. I love this den so much. Yes, it's small. Do I care? Nope. I love the concept of a mystic forest full of big magic mushrooms. It's also beautiful. Even the soundtrack is charming. You can sit on the mushrooms. I really think this den is underrated. I mean, I haven't been active in the WildCraft community, so I wouldn't know, but it seems like a lot of people have stopped playing and haven't had time to admire this den. It's so nicely made. Maybe it could be a bit bigger, yes, and it has a few minor flaws, but overall, it's beautiful.